Hey guys, my name is Matsumo, and today I had a chance to play a game that not only caught me by surprise, but really made me question why I've never seen anything like this before, and that is called Splitgate. Now, if we're able to look past its name, because admittedly its name doesn't really do it a whole lot of justice, it's essentially a fusion between Halo and Portals. You run around on a small map. This is an arena FPS, so there are weapons scattered around that you can pick on up, and if that was all the game provided, admittedly it probably would be fairly mediocre. This is in the beta phase, so that is one thing you have to take into consideration, but what really sets it apart from the competition and makes it incredibly unique is that on select surfaces, you can create your own portals. This really is a game changer. All of a sudden, this standard arena FPS goes from being mediocre to one of the most interesting games I have played in quite some time. The ability to create a portal wherever you want really makes you think about how you approach different situations. Instead of just trying to run from point A to point B, you can now quickly create a portal to get you there faster. If you're trying to flank the enemy, you know they're on one side of the map, you can make a portal next to you and then over in that direction to get the flank off. If you just simply need to run away and approach the situation because you're taking some damage and you need to regenerate your health, you have the ability to do so. The amount of ways that you can approach different situations is staggering. I think what I enjoy most about this new dynamic is that it adds in a new skill element that just simply isn't present in any other competitive FPS out there. If you're someone who has great aim, that of course is going to assist you here, but it isn't the whole package. If you're going against someone that maybe doesn't have the best aim, but knows how to manipulate and move around the map effectively with these portals and get the flank against you, they're probably going to be way more successful in the long run. I would go against some players that admittedly had better aim than I did, but I was able to come out on top because they would play it like a standard FPS, just running straight at me after I ducked behind cover, but then I was able to open quickly up two different portals and then hit them from a completely different angle that they were not expecting. I cannot stress enough how incredibly satisfying it is to pull something off like that. Now, one thing that is a bit of a disappointment, and I'm not sure if this is a limitation of the engine, some optimization issues, or if this is actually a game design decision, but for some reason, you can't see through other players' portals. Now, you can walk or shoot through them just like your own, but you don't know what's on the other side, which of course puts you at a pretty severe disadvantage. I had a lot of moments where I thought I had the upper hand against someone, they passed through their portal to run away, I would follow quickly after that, thinking I had the upper hand, and then because they could see me the entire time while I'm approaching said portal, I of course can't see them, they were able to promptly take me out directly after that. And so once again, I don't know if this is an engine limitation, I don't know if everyone was able to see through everyone's portals, all these different viewpoints would really tank the frame rate, or if it's a game design decision, but I will say that if they were able to work around this somehow, or allow everyone to actually have the ability to see through every single portal, I really think that that would take it to the next level. It wasn't something that you aren't able to overcome, you kind of get used to it, but to have people actually shooting at you from something that you can't actually physically see through yourself was a bit of a drawback. Another thing I really appreciated though are the weapons. I think the best way of describing them is that there is a clear influence from Halo. There is a BR, for example, which basically looks, sounds, and performs just like the BR from the Halo franchise. And so because of this and this clear influence from Halo, the actual gameplay itself is really rewarding. The weapons are satisfying, they feel meaty when they need to be. I didn't really feel like any of them were overpowered, but if you use them properly, you could be better in certain situations. And just in general, there was a decent amount of depth with the actual weapons that you could find. Now, the downside of this though is that even though a lot of the weapons don't share a lot of overlap, the SMG compared to the secondary or the BR, for example, play completely differently, and that's a good thing, but there aren't a lot of weapons overall. I think there's like 8 or 9, which isn't great. And a lot of people, that's going to be a bit of a disappointment. People expect there to be a lot of variety and having a lot of weapons to choose from, and that just simply isn't here. It's still fun, I enjoy the ones that are there, but I will admit using the same one over and over and over again, especially the one that you spawn in with, was getting a bit stale even after the like 5 hours that I played. And so that was one thing that I found to be a little disappointing. Now, the one question that I feel like is looming over this game, though, is will it be relatively successful? A lot of people don't even want to get involved with a new FPS if they don't think that it's going to have a healthy player base for a long period of time. Yeah, it might be amazing and really fun and a blast to play now, but if no one's playing it in a couple of weeks because the player base died that quickly, it's happened over and over again, especially for indie games, which this is, and especially an arena FPS, I could see why people would be a bit hesitant. One thing that is reassuring, though, is that during this beta weekend, which I can only imagine only a select few people were actually participating in, is that queue times were very fast. Because it's only 4 versus 4, you don't need a lot of people to actually populate a game, and so that may be the saving grace here. And so even though they may not get hundreds of thousands of people to participate and play the game, even if it does slow down in its popularity, if you really enjoy what this game has to offer, it may have a long-lasting and healthy player base because you don't need millions of people to actually play because it is 4 versus 4. So that is another thing to take into consideration. All in all, though, if you can't tell, I had an absolute blast with Splitgate, and I really just wanted to make today's video to inform you about it so that you can keep your eye on this in the future. I have no idea if it's going to be successful, but I think as long as the developers play their cards right and do a good job, I think this game has a lot of potential. But yeah, guys, that is what it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think about Splitgate. Does this look entertaining? Are you really into the portal mechanic? Why or why not? Let me know down below. But yeah, guys, until next time, have a good one and take it easy.